Today it was the Berlin's marathon day. In fact, today the flattest and fastest marathon was run. Eliud Kipchoge won the marathon in the men's side, and in the women's side, Assefa'S obliterated the world record completely. Today I'm going to talk about what happened in Berlin. And before we start the video, as always, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I would be really happy if you do so. Then, after subscribing to the channel, activate the notifications bell. That's really important in order to be aware of what's going on in the channel. Then I also invite you to leave a like, to share the video with all the people you know, and last but not least, of course, comment in the comment section down below with your opinions. Today, the Berlin Marathon was Berlin Marathon's day and the fastest marathon in the world. In the last month, probably, especially in the last month, I became a fan of marathon and of running in general. I started running some months ago. That's a really interesting story. I know this is a tennis channel, but I want to do this video. Then let's see what people are going to think about it. I want to do it in English, just because I feel that way, although I will do it also in Italian. And on the men's side, Eliud Kipchoge won with a time of 2 hours, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Although people are in a sort of way even disappointed, it's still a fantastic time. That was exactly what I expected from Kipchoge in this run. I didn't expect anything more than that. And then I'll tell you why. I'm not a marathon expert, I'm just a fan of marathons and of running. I just became a fan of marathons and of running lately. So I will just tell my opinion politely, in a civil way. I'm not gonna talk as an expert because I'm not an expert, but I just want to share my opinion. And the most incredible thing was the way Assefa'S obliterated completely the world record in women's side. The world record before was 2 hours, 14 minutes and 4 seconds. And Assefa'S ran the marathon in 2 hours, 11 minutes and 53 seconds, which is mind-blowing in my opinion. It's a time that no one would have thought was possible for a woman, just until some years ago. But Assefa'S managed to run this marathon in a superhuman time, I would even say. She's only 26 years old. I think that she definitely stands a chance, and I think she's definitely the favorite to be the first ever woman to break 210. That was something unthinkable for a woman just some years ago. 210 is a time that it's even elite for men. There are not a lot of men that have gone under 210, and absolutely there is no woman that has ever done so. And I think that Assefa'S, she's 26 years old, considered that a prime for a marathon athlete is late 20s, early 30s. She definitely stands a chance. Her improvements have been massive because last year she ran a 2:16 and, unless I'm mistaken, 2:17, something like that, or 2:15. I don't remember specifically now, but it was something around that. And she started the year with a 2:35, so the improvements have been massive. She's definitely the worthiest candidate to run a sub 210 marathon. Then I want to talk about, I think that today Assefa'S marathon is the main topic, because I know that Eliud Kipchoge is the GOAT, without any shadow of a doubt. She's the best marathon runner of all time. She's also in the conversation for long distance running, for including 5K, 10K. He has superhuman times also there, sub 27 in 10K, sub 13 in 5K. Yeah, he also has the record for 30 kilometers. I don't know if that was taken from a split from a marathon, but I mean, he's a fantastic runner. He runs at a 21 kilometer per hour pace for 2 hours straight, which is, I tried it yesterday or 2 days ago. 2 days ago I tried it, and I can know that rhythm for 6 minutes. I'm a beginner, but if you take someone who runs a sub 3 hour marathon, which is a very good time, can hold the pace for 500-600 meters, not more. I've seen a video of a guy that had like a PB of 55 to 56 to 57, I don't know, but a little bit less of 3 hours, and he struggled to keep the rhythm for one lap of track. So, I mean, it's a human pace. Kipchoge actually came out at a sub 2 hour pace, at 2 hour pace, 2:01. He couldn't hold the rhythm. He crossed half line at 60:22, 1 hour and 20 seconds. 5K split was at 14 minutes and 12 seconds, 2 seconds faster than last year. He was literally floating. He was running super fast. He was running at a superhuman speed, 247, 248. And he already dropped down all the other competitors, apart from Kindi, who managed to hold Kipchoge's rhythm until kilometer 32 or 31. I don't remember specifically until when he had the rhythm, but then he dropped down because that rhythm is something that is it's Kipchogean. We can call it in this way. Only Kipchoge and Kiptum, I think, and all that rhythm. And Bekele also in his prime now. He's past his prime, he's in his 40s. I think he's 41, 42 years old. I think he's 41 years old and he's approaching 42. Also, Kipchoge is not super young anymore. I think for a human, for 38 is still young, but although marathon running's prime is around 38, a little bit less, 34, 35 years old. It's not like sprinting, which is 22, 21. Usain Bolt's prime was in 22, 21 years old. I still think that Eliud Kipchoge is a fantastic runner. My prediction for this Berlin Marathon was 2:03:17 for Kipchoge. I expected him to win, but I didn't expect him to break the world record from some reasons. I want to analyze this. First thing, he's getting older year by year. Second thing, you don't break world records on a yearly basis, usually. Second thing, you need the perfect day. It doesn't happen every time. And fourth thing, it's above your average times. Kipchoge's average time when he wins marathon is around 2:3:20, 2:3:30. So today he did better than that. And his average time in Berlin is about the time that he won't race today. So he has to do something that is not used to do. It's something that he did only once. Break the 2:02 barrier was broken by Kipchoge 5 years ago. He managed to go very close from breaking also the 2:01 barrier. But it doesn't happen every year. It doesn't happen in every Berlin Marathon. I think that was the reason why he didn't break the record. I think Kipchoge ran a very good race. It wasn't his best race, but it wasn't his worst race either. His worst race, time-wise, was in Boston this year, where he struggled, the water bottle thing, you remember that? The left leg injury. I also had an injury on my doctor yesterday, but let's not talk about it. That's not the topic of the video. The fact that he was being basically the pacemaker, although in Boston there are no pacemakers, but he was being the pacemaker. It's not something he's used to. Usually Kipchoge, apart from when he's trying to break the world records where he's alone, but usually Kipchoge is in the middle of the lead group, and at the end he prevails. I mean, he preserves some energy for a final acceleration that consents him to win the race. In Berlin, he's usually alone. In 2018, he was alone. He had to run the second half of the marathon alone because there were no pacers. The pacers couldn't hold the rhythm of Kipchoge, which is something I invite you, everyone that is watching this video, to try to run at Kipchoge's speed for as long as you can. I assure you, at average runners, it's like a sprint. I think that if I run 100 meters, I would run 100 meters less than how much Kipchoge averages in 100 meters. I'm not joking, that's the truth. Kipchoge is simply superhuman. I think Kipchoge had a good race. I would say that it was an overall good race. And Kipchoge is known for his negative splits. But let's analyze this. In the last 3 races he ran, he had 3 positive splits. He didn't have 3 negative splits. Because in Boston Marathon, he slowed down in the second part of the race considerably. In the Berlin 2022 Marathon, he had also there not a negative split, because he crossed half marathon at 59:51, and it was a fantastic day for Kipchoge. And now he crossed the half marathon line at 60:22, 122 seconds, which was world record time. But he didn't manage to keep that pace, because he ran the second half of the marathon in 1 hour, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 20 seconds, sorry. Still a very, very good time. Still 2:03, still the 8th fastest time of all time. So, in my opinion, Kipchoge's race was great. As I've said, it wasn't his best day, it wasn't his worst day either. So, I think that Kipchoge set the standards so high that even a 2 hour, 2 minute, 42 seconds race seems average. That means that he set the standards so high that we can't even appreciate anymore the greatness of this man. In my opinion, this time is fantastic. It's great. It's a great race by Kipchoge. I don't think he's the best marathon runner in the world anymore, although he's the second one. It's either him or Kiptum, but I think that Kiptum at the moment, yes, something more. He said that he's going to break Kipchoge's record, which seems very probable to me. I think that this was probably the last chance that Kipchoge has to break the record, because then there are the Olympics. He's going to race at the Olympics. He's not going to race something prior to the Olympics. This was his last race before the Olympics. And then after the Olympics, there are considerable chances that he retires. And even if he doesn't retire, he's going to be almost 40 years old. It gets tougher. It gets tough. So, in my opinion, Kipchoge won't break the world record anymore. I think Kiptum definitely can. I think that if Kiptum manages to run and to be injury-free, which is the biggest deal in my opinion for Kiptum's career, because he started so strong so early. Let's remember that Kipchoge didn't run a marathon until he was 28 or 29. I don't remember now correctly, but I think that the first marathon Kipchoge ever ran officially was in 2013, when he was 28, approaching 29 years old. So Kipchoge had something that was more gradual, and Kiptum already runs marathons. So maybe Kiptum won't have Kipchoge's longevity, but I believe he's going to break 2:01. I also believe that in 2 or 3, 4 years at max he's going to break also 2 hours, because he managed to run 2:1:25 in very bad conditions, in worse conditions than the conditions where Kipchoge ran 2:19 in Berlin last year. So I believe that Kiptum definitely has a chance, has a very, very good chance of being the first man to ever break 2:01 and to ever break 2, especially 2 hours, the 2 hour barrier in an official competition. As almost, I wouldn't say almost everyone because that's an exaggeration, but as a large contingent of the population of the world knows, Kipchoge is the first ever man to run a marathon distance in less than 2 hours, but it was done in an unofficial competition where he had something like 70, 50, 60, I don't remember how many pacers he had specifically, but he had a bunch of pacers. The pacers were changing every 3 or 4 kilometers, so the pacers were fresh, they could hold rhythm. He had a laser in front of him that was pacing Kipchoge, that was telling Kipchoge this is the speed that you have to hold. He had the pacers put in a very, very specific position, a strategic position, in order to make it easier for Kipchoge wind resistance wise. And he also had the perfect shoes created for that specific race, and the course was absolutely flat, like Berlin. But in Berlin, it's an official marathon, so he didn't have all these pacers. He didn't have the pacers for the whole race, because as you know, the pacers drop at the end of the race, and there are not pacers that change every once a while. The pacers are those, and when they fall, they fall. There are no pacers anymore. So Kiptum is going to break 2:01 in 2 hours, possibly even in Chicago, although it seems difficult because he said that he isn't in his best condition, but he definitely stands a chance. I want to finish the video talking about the woman. At the end, I talked too much about the man winner, although Kipchoge is the god and is always the main man when it comes to marathon racing. Although today I think that the person of the day is Assefa'S, because she obliterated the world record, 2:11:53. That's superhuman. She ran at about 3:04 pace per kilometer. Unbelievable pace. Kipchoge ran about a 2:57. Not bad, super good. And Kipchoge's fastest kilometer was, I think, like 2:46, 2:47. The first 5K were fantastic. And I think that this record definitely stands a new standard for women's marathon, because I think that now elite women start to believe at least at 2:10 is a possibility. So, as I've said, if Kipling is going to be the one that is going to break the 2-hour barrier in the men's side and 2:01 barrier in the men's side, I believe that Assefa'S is going to be the one that is going to break the 2:10 barrier in the women's side. I think that this race was simply mind-blowing from her. I didn't expect something like that, to be 100% honest. I think that no one expected Assefa'S to obliterate the world record in such a huge margin, with such a huge margin. Yes, we could have thought that there was a chance of it happening, because as we know, the Berlin Marathon is the marathon where world records are run. But in this way, 2 minutes and 20 seconds faster than the world record, it's almost superhuman. 2 minutes and 10 seconds faster, that's almost a kilometer. A kilometer at that pace, it's in 3 minutes, on average, 3 minutes and 4 seconds, 5, she ran a kilometer. So she had something like a 600-meter advantage over the women's record. So, unbelievable. Something that really stands out from everything. And this is my opinion on the Berlin Marathon. To finish, I don't think Kipchoge disappointed. I expected a time like this from Kipchoge. I expected him to win, but I didn't expect him to break the world record. I expected that time that was around this. My prediction was 2 hours, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. He ran 35 seconds faster than that. So I wasn't 100% right. I saw a lot of people that were predicting a sub 2, not a lot of people. The most optimistic and the most, let's say, dreaming people. But there were a bunch of people that were predicting at least a 2:02 pace, or that were even predicting a world record. But I think that this wasn't the day. Although the conditions were optimal for the world record, the pacers did a great job in my opinion, and Kipchoge also ran well. But world record don't happen every day. On women's side, I am fascinated by Assefa'S run. Unbelievable. Guys, this was a great day. Please hit the subscription button, activate the notifications bell, leave a like, comment down below in the comment section, and don't forget to always enjoy running, like Kipchoge says. No human is limited, like the Kenyan says. Guys, see you in the next video. This was my first running video. I don't know how many videos I'm gonna do about running. Honestly, in the last period of time, there have not been a bunch of videos in this channel, so I hope that you enjoy this. See you later in a video. Ciao.